Let's study pharmacodynamics. That is, what is drug doing to the body? What is the effect? What is the response or action of drug on the body? Okay. So in introduction you can write, it is the branch of pharmacology which deals with the effect of drug on the body. In that you can also extend the drug is act as stimulant, depressant, irritant, or cytotoxic agent. You can say act as a replacement also. Let's study. Let's start with two topics, or you can say two short terminologies, that is affinity and intrinsic activity. Let's understand the meaning of affinity. The capacity of drug, the capacity of substrate to bind with its receptor on the effector cell. The capacity of drug to bind with the receptor of the effector cell. Okay, this is the definition. Drug's capacity to bind with the receptor. This is affinity. And what is intrinsic activity? This is receptor, suppose this is receptor. Okay, this is our substrate. It binds with the receptor with its affinity. After binding, what the response it creates, what action, its effect is nothing but intrinsic activity. Okay, we call it intrinsic activity. We understand the two terms. Let's start with affinity. Now affinities depend on four factors, that is enzyme, ion channels. There are various channels in our body: sodium, potassium channel, calcium channel, and the drugs are also named according to that. Calcium channel blockers, this channel blockers, this channel activators, stimulant, that agonist, antagonist. We will see it in intrinsic affinity, intrinsic activities also. Then transporter, and the affinity is depend on, of course, the receptor. There is in the exam, this is understanding point of view, I am teaching on the basis of understanding point of view. In exam, the 5 marks short note can come on the receptor. Okay. Enzyme is nothing but, deoxycarboxylase, cholinesterase. These are enzymes which accelerates the process of this affinity, binding of our drug substrate with the receptor. It accelerates the process. It acts like the catalase. Okay. And ion channels. If the ion channels are not blocked or blocked by the physiological stimulant, there are physiological stimulants. No? Some channels on nerves are supposed to bind with, these receptors are supposed to bind with the physiological molecules. Suppose this receptor on nerve, it is made for it. God give this receptor to bind with acetylcholine, the nerve receptor. But our drug substrate, whatever it is, I don't know the name exactly, captopril or that, will bind it and stimulate it. It will produce different actions. It will see in intrinsic activity. It blocks or stimulates or inhibits or partial. It will depend on channels. Okay. And transporter. Now what happens? Some effector cells, on some effector cells, the receptor are inside the cell. The receptor can be on the surface of the cell or inside the cell. Some effector cells have the receptor inside the cell. Now our drug have to go into the cell to bind with the receptor and show its action. So transporter helps to bind with the receptor, bind with our drug cell membrane, and it will release the substrate, and the substrate will bind with the receptor and show its action. Okay, simple. And receptor. First we have to write the definition of receptor and its four functions that are amplify. It amplifies the signal. It receives the signal. Receptor recognizes our substrate or drug. Signal molecule, the word used, signal molecule in this book. Drug, substrate or signal molecule is one and the same thing. Okay. It propagates. It amplifies the signal. It integrates the signal. It adapts the signal. Okay. These are four functions. And the definition is a macromolecule or a binding site. A binding site located on the surface or inside the cell, located on the surface or inside the effector cell, which serves to recognize the signal molecule to initiate its response. This signal molecule or drug recognize and binds with it to initiate its response, but it itself does nothing. So what's the definition? It is the macromolecule or the binding site located on the surface or inside the effector cell, serves to recognize this our signal molecule to initiate its response, and itself, this receptor itself does nothing. Okay, it's just bind and stimulate, inhibit, everything does do our substrate. Receptor does nothing. Okay, it is just present there. Then intrinsic activity. There are four actions drug is doing on that effector organ. Agonist, partial agonist. These are different drugs showing different action. Antagonist, and inverse or reverse agonist. Okay. First write their intrinsic activity and then we will understand. It's +1, it's less than 1, it's less than 1, I don't know the sign. Okay. Antagonist. Now agonist and antagonist, we are confused by that, and by seeing antagonist we understand that it will reverse the action, but the reverse is this just block. It just bind with the receptor and does nothing, it just block the receptor. It is also called as blocker. It is also known as blocker, antagonist. Okay. Calcium channel blocker, sodium channel blockers, all are antagonists. Inverse antagonist, their intrinsic activity is -1. Okay. Now what is that? Agonist. It produces the effect exactly similar to the physiological stimulus. Suppose physiological stimulus, the physiological molecule binds with that receptor and it increases the peristaltic movement, or it whatever it does, the same action. In the absence of that molecule, in the deficiency of that molecule, we give agonist and it will bind with the receptor and does the similar action. Okay, like the physiological molecule. That is intrinsic activity is +1. Effect similar to the physiological stimulant. This is partial agonist. It stimulates the effect, same physiological similar effect but half. Okay, partial effect on the body. Action similar to the physiological stimulus, agonist. Action similar to the physiological stimulus but partially. Okay, antagonist just block the receptor, and inverse agonist, it inhibits, it does not stimulate. Reverse to the stimulation is inhibition. It inhibits the physiological stimulus. Okay. So this is basic agonist antagonist concept. Now one more small concept is there. Suppose this is receptor, this is binding site. Some receptor have the binding site is like this is square and this is round. You are understanding? No? These are different receptors. Okay, this is round. Suppose this is our substrate. This is agonist. Okay, and this is another drug. This is another drug. Let's say it is antagonist or agonist, whatever. And this is another. Now tell me, this is receptor and this three are drugs. Okay, substrate and receptor. Now tell me which drug binds with this receptor. These two, okay. Now this is our substrate. Main substrate is this. And this is competitive substrate or agonist or antagonist. Competitive substrate, agonist or antagonist. And this is non-competitive. Why competitive and non-competitive? Because it can bind with this receptor. So it is competitive and this is non-competitive. I hope you got this concept. It's easy to understand. Now let's come to the main part, DRC. Dose receptor curve. There are 4 to 5 things in it. This is little difficult to understand. First we will see potency. Potency and efficacy we will see together. Potency, efficacy, therapeutic index, therapeutic range. We will see these two things together in the same curve. And slope. Slope. Now what is dose response curve? This is graph. This is y-axis. This is x-axis. Okay, x-axis. This is dose. Whatever 1 mg, 2 mg, 3 mg, 4 mg, 5 mg, 100 mg, whatever. This is response. Okay. This is response. Whatever 1%, 2%, 3%, 100%. Or we measure response in another unit. I don't know. Dose versus response curve. Okay. What is potency and efficacy? Let's study potency and efficacy in the same graph. This is dose. This is response. Dose response curve. Now this curve is normally hyperbola shape. Hyperbola is like this, but we don't want hyperbola. It complicates our calculation. We want the sigmoid curve, like sigmoid curve. Sigmoid curve like this S-shaped sigmoid curve. We want this. So we convert dose into log dose, logarithm of dose. Okay? Understand up to this. Okay. This is sigmoid curve. Now I have drawn this. These two are starting from the same point, and these two are starting from the same point. Now tell me, this is A, this is B, C and D. Potency and efficacy. Potency and efficacy. Potency depends on the dose. Efficacy depends on the response. More the response, more will be the efficacy. And less the dose, the drug is more potent. I repeat my words. Less will be the dose, the drug will be more potent. Here B is more potent than C. The drug B, these are 4 different drugs, okay, of same kind. Let's say 4 drugs are hypertensive or antimalarial or antitubercular or basic anti-painkillers or antipyretics, analgesics. These are same kinds of drug but different. You know, hypertensive, there are many drugs, amlodipine, and there are so many list of drugs that I have not learned but will learn surely. These are same kind of drugs but different drugs, okay, different. Their potency and efficacy is different, it means the drug is different, okay. Now we have to select best for our patient. Suppose patient is hypertensive, BP is 200 by 100, okay, normal is 120 by 80, na? The hypertensive BP of our patient is 200 by 100, very hypertensive patient, and if we give 1 mg of dose of our drug, it is this much efficient, and if we give this amount of drug, this is the potency, relation of potency with clinical. Okay, let's come back to the theory topic. Potency. Now B is more potent than C. B is more potent than D. D is less potent than D. I hope you understand. The dose is less the dose, the more potent the drug will be. The B drug is more potent than C. Drug A and drug B are equally potent. Their potencies are equal, okay. Potency of drug C and D are equal. Now come to the efficacy. Efficacy of A is equal to the efficacy of C. Efficacy of drug A, depends on response. It depends on response, right? Efficacy of drug A is equal to efficacy of drug C. Efficacy of drug A is more than efficacy of drug B. We have to select more potent and more efficient drug for our patient, okay. Efficacy of, now the best selection, which drug is best selected, the best suitable drug is A here, okay, because it is more efficient and more potent, okay. It will produce the same effect on the 1 mg that C will produce on 10 mg, okay. I hope you are getting it. The efficacy of B and D. Tell me the efficacy of B and D. It's equal, right? Tell me the efficacy of C and D. C is more efficient than D. Okay. I hope you understand the concept of potency and efficacy. Okay. Let's see therapeutic index and therapeutic range. This is dose, this is response. Dose response curve. Therapeutic index and therapeutic range. First, I have to clear that. Therapeutic index is also called as safety margin. Therapeutic index is also called as safety margin. Why? I will tell you. And therapeutic range is also called as therapeutic window. Okay, therapeutic range is also called as therapeutic window. So this is our these both are same drugs given in the different doses. Okay. These both are same drugs given in the different doses, A and A. These are same drugs. Then this is minimum dose that we can give for the action. Okay, this is the minimum dose we can give for the action, and this is the lethal dose. This range. This is the lethal dose. Okay, if we give drug beyond, if we increase the higher potency, if we give it beyond the range of lethal dose, then it will cause the adverse effect. It is fatal to the life of patient. Okay, so between this period, this is the safe margin or therapeutic index, one and the same thing. Therapeutic index or therapeutic index and safety margin. Now how are we calculate? Therapeutic index is equal to median of effect of drug, median of effect of drug divided by ratio between median of effect of drug divided by median of lethal dose. Now what is median here? Median means mean. This is suppose midpoint. This period is our therapeutic index. Okay, therapeutic index or safety margin. Now I hope you understand why it is called a safety margin, because beyond that, if we give the drug, it is fatal to the life of our patient. So we have to give the dose of the drug between this range only. That's why it is safe margin or therapeutic index. Okay, let's see the therapeutic range or therapeutic window. Therapeutic range, color is not changed, is equal to minimum acceptable. We say that effect of drug or acceptable dose of drug. Minimum acceptable dose of drug divided by maximum lethal dose. Minimum acceptable dose. Acceptable म्हणजे the dose where the drug starts showing the effect. This is the acceptable dose. Acceptable dose. This is lethal dose. Okay. Therapeutic index is median of acceptable dose divided by median of lethal dose. Therapeutic range is minimum of acceptable dose and maximum lethal dose. So this is therapeutic index or therapeutic window. I hope you got this concept. Then one more last topic is slope. There are only two types. Slope is easier. This is steep and this is flat. Steep and flat. This is drug dose response curve only. In the KD Tripathi, there is one example is given, that is two hypertensive drugs. This is dose and this is fall in BP. Dose, fall in BP. Two hypertensive drugs have their same action, but their efficacy, potency, everything is different. I will teach you what is the difference. Hydrolazine and hydrochlorothiazide. Hydrolazine and hydrochlorothiazide.